Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a contact page for your WordPress website. I'm going to show you how to sign up and activate Elementor Pro, and then I'm going to show you how to use the contact form. We're going to use multiple steps and progress bars, and I'm going to show you how to use the Google Maps widget. And if that wasn't enough, I'm also going to show you how you can pin multiple locations within the Google Maps widget. So sit back, relax, hit that subscribe and notifications button, and let's get into the video. Hi guys, the first thing you're going to need to do is go over to the Elementor website, which you can find at the top of the description, and choose your price plan if you haven't already got one. Once you have selected which price plan best suits your needs, click on the Buy Now button. You're then going to be asked to fill out your name and your payment details. Once you have paid, you'll be sent a verification code to your email address. If you have already got an Elementor Pro license, then all you need to do is go back onto the main homepage and click on the login button on the top row. Then you'll have to enter your email address, password, and click on the sign in button. Now that you're logged into your Elementor dashboard, click on the download button on the top row and select Elementor Pro Expert. This will download the Elementor Pro plugin in a zip file. Once it's finished downloading, head over to your WordPress dashboard. From here, you're going to want to click on Plugins on the left hand side. Once the page is loaded, we're going to click on Add New on the top row. Then we're going to select Upload Plugin. Click on Choose File and select the Elementor zip file and click Open. Now you're going to have to click on the Install Now button. WordPress will then install the zip file, and all you need to do is click on Activate Plugin. You'll be then taken back to your list of WordPress plugins. As you can see, Elementor Pro has been added to that list. All we need to do now is click on Connect and Activate. Once the page is loaded, all we need to do is connect and activate our license, and we do that by clicking on the Activate button. And that's it, you're now free to design amazing websites with Elementor Pro. Now if we go back to a page that we've been working on, we can see that the padlocks have been taken off of the Elementor Pro widgets, and we're free to use them as we please. Now we're going to create a new page within WordPress. You'll need to go into Pages and then click on Add New. Once your page loads, you then need to give it a name. In the Add Title box, because this is our contact page, we're going to type in Contact Page. Once that's done, click on Edit with Elementor in the top row. Now Elementor is going to load onto our page, and the first thing we want to do is remove the header and footer. And we can simply do this by clicking on the gear icon in the bottom left hand side of our screen. Next to where it says Page Layout, click on the drop down menu and select Elementor Canvas. Give it a second for our page to reload, and you'll notice our header and footer has been removed. Now we're going to add our hero image to the top of our page. To do this, we're first going to need to click on the purple plus button in the middle of our page and select our section. On the left hand side where it says Content Width, we're going to select on the drop down box and select Full Width. This means when it comes to adding our image to our page, it stretches across the entirety of the page. To make sure there's no gaps around our columns, we're going to select on the drop down menu and select No Gap. Underneath where it says Height, we're going to select Fit to Screen. Now we're going to add our image, and we do this by clicking on Style in the top left hand side of our screen. Next to background type, we're going to click on the paintbrush, and in the image box we're going to click on Choose Image. This will bring up our media library, and as you can see, I've already uploaded some images, and I'm going to choose this one for our page. Click on Insert Media at the bottom right of our screen, and we're now going to adjust our position of our image. And this is because we can only see the left of the image. We want to make it more central. To do this, we're going to have to click on the drop down menu on the left hand side next to Position and select Center. If we collapse our Elementor menu, we can get an idea of what our page will look like once it's finished, at least how the image will look. It's probably a little bit more zoomed in than I'd like, and I'm going to change that in a minute. If you wanted to show a different position of the image once it loads on your page, you can simply click on Position again and choose which part of the image you want to show. This could be center left, center right, top left, or bottom right. You can also choose a custom area. But as I said earlier on, I want to zoom out a little bit, so I'm going to click on the drop down menu next to size and click on cover. Now if we collapse our menu again, we can see we've got more of the image showing. The next thing I'm going to do is add our header to our page. I'm going to add a new section under our hero image, and I'm going to drag in a heading widget. I'm not going to do anything fancy here. All I'm going to do is change the alignment and type in our box contact us. In the style tab on the top left hand side, we're going to change the color of our text to black. Now we're going to start thinking about adding our contact form. So we're going to go down to the bottom of our page and we're going to add a new section with 2 columns. On the column on the left, I'm going to add an image. Now this doesn't obviously have to be an image, it could be text, giving reasons for your visitors to contact you. With my image widget dropped in, all I need to do is select my image. No, this is obviously not me, I'm far better looking. If you want to change the size of our image, we can do that by clicking on the drop down menu on the left hand side. Now in the column on the right hand side, we're going to drop in our contact form, and as you can see, it's fairly basic. For some people this may be enough, but for others you will need extra fields. To add more, all you need to do is click on add item on the left hand side, and I'm going to show you all the fields you can add a little bit later on. But first I'm going to quickly show you how to edit the fields that are already on there. And the one I'm going to show you is name. So if I give that a click, you'll notice on the left hand side we'll be given some options. And the first option we've got is type. And this allows us to change which type of information can be inputted into that field. By clicking on the drop down menu, it gives us options like adding email addresses, telephone numbers and URLs. The great thing here is that if someone enters the wrong information, it will be declined. For example, if someone tried to add letters to the telephone number box, it would be rejected. And they can only proceed if they add a telephone number. Next on the list on the left hand side is label. And this gives you the opportunity to tell your visitors what sort of information you want added to that field. And below label is placeholder. And in here you can give an example of what your visitor's response should look like. Quickly moving down is required, and this is where you choose whether a field has to mandatorily be filled in. If any information is missing, your visitor's form will not send until they add it. With all that explained, we're now going to add a new item. I'm going to click on add new, and in the type I'm going to select telephone. As you can see on the right hand side, our field has been added. All we need to do now is add our label, and we're going to type in telephone. And I'm also going to type in number for our placeholder. We can adjust the field's position on our list by clicking on the name and dragging it up. Now if you're anything like me, you hate filling out long forms. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that have 20 plus questions that you just have to keep clicking through. What I normally do is get halfway through and lose interest and not fill out the form. Elementor have tried to solve this problem by adding steps and progress bars, meaning that you can break your form up into bite-sized pieces that people will keep engaged with. And in this part of the video, I'm going to show you how to set that up. The first thing we need to do is click on add item again on the left-hand side. In the drop-down menu next to type, we're going to select step at the very bottom of the list. As you can see on the top of our form, we've got a 1 and a 2, and this indicates where we are in completing the form. Anything added before this field on the left hand side will be shown on page 1. Anything below will be on page 2. So if we want to break this form up into 2 parts, all we need to do is drag our field up the list. As you can see on the right hand side, our name and email address is on page 1. Our telephone number and message is on page 2. If we wanted to add a third part to our form, all we need to do is repeat the process and click add item again and select step in our type drop down menu. As you'll notice on the top right hand side of our form, the third step has been added, and any additional items that we now add will fall onto page 3. And we can keep repeating this process as many times as we like. What I'll do now is give you a quick preview of what our page and our form looks like so far. To do this, all we need to do is click on the preview button next to the publish button on the bottom row. What you'll see when the page loads is our hero image at the top, and if we scroll down the page, you'll notice our contact form. What I'm going to show you now is what the form will look like once your visitors fill it out and how the steps will work. The first thing we need to fill in is our name, and obviously the next step is our email address. Once that's been done, we're going to need to click on the next button. As you can see, step 1 of the form has been completed and is green. We can go back to a previous page if we need to by clicking on previous, but I am going to carry on filling out the form and showing you the next page. Like before, click on next, and I'm going to choose a date at random. As that's all the fields added to our form, we can now click on send. I'm now going to show you how to customize some of your form. Back in Elementor, we're going to click on form fields and we're going to select buttons underneath. As you can see, we can change our button size and we can change its alignment on the page. Below this, we can change the text that's displayed within our step buttons. To do this, highlight the text inside your box and start typing. Below buttons, we can click actions after submit. If we want to redirect one of our visitors to a page once they've finished submitting our form, we can do that in here. We can also do things like send thank you messages and open and close pop-up windows. Moving down on the left hand side, we're going to click on email, and this is where we can change the format of our form once it's sent to us. If we want to change our email address, we can, and we can change our subject title so we know what form we're receiving. If we click step settings on the left hand side, we can change the style of our steps. As you can see, one of the options is progress bar, or we can just display icons. If we don't want round icons, we can click on the drop down menu next to shape and change it. Under additional options on the bottom right, we can set our form IDs. If we want to change any of the colours of our buttons and icons, we can do that by clicking on the Style tab in the top left hand side. I'm not going to go into too much detail in this section, but you can change all your colours of your text and your buttons. All you need to do is select the relevant colour picker and choose it from the colour palette. To see how to get the most out of the Advanced tab, check out the video in the top right hand side of the screen now. If you are finding this video useful, please do hit that like and subscribe button. The next thing we're going to do on our contact page is add Google Maps. So the first thing we're going to do is click on the plus button and select 2 sections. In the column on the left hand side, we're going to add a heading widget. Once we've added this widget to our page, we're going to click on the left hand side in title. In here, we're going to simply type in visit us. Underneath our Visit Us header, we're going to drop in an icon list. And this is so we can add things like our email address and our telephone number. You can look for it by scrolling down on the left hand side, or you can type it in the search widget box. All these icons can be changed. All you need to do is select on the tab and choose the icon library. Once you've found the icon you want to use, select it and click on Insert. You can add as many icons as you want to this list. All you need to do is click on Add Item at the bottom. To not bore anyone too much, I am going to speed this section of the video up. To change the text next to the icons, all we need to do is click in the text box and start typing. Don't forget to add your email and your telephone number in these boxes. Once that's done, I'm going to quickly go in and change the colour of our Visit Us heading. And whilst I'm at it, I'm also going to type into the address box. Once all that's done, I'm going to add our Google Maps into the column on the right hand side. Like before, we're going to have to go into the widget menu and we're going to have to find Google Maps. If you're ever having trouble finding a widget, type the name of it into the search widget box at the top and drag it into your page. As you can see, the Google Maps widget is extremely basic. You enter your location in the top left hand side, and below that you can choose how zoomed in you are to the map. All you need to do here is move the slider bar to the left or right. The final option is to change the height of the map. And like Zoom, all we need to do is slide the bar to the left or right. If your business has multiple locations, you don't have to add a map for each one. And you certainly don't need any additional plugins. As long as your business locations have been added and verified with Google, all you need to do is type in the name. I can easily and simply show you how to do this by typing in the location box McDonald's restaurants. As you will see, every location in London that is McDonald's restaurants will be pinned. So if you had 15 bars or offices, you could type in your company name and pin all your locations on the map. But do remember, you do have to have each one verified by Google. And when you publish this page, all the pins are saved and your site visitors will be able to find the closest branch of your business to them. If you do want to use Elementor forms, you will need Elementor Pro. If you haven't got Elementor Pro, there is a link in the description below. It is an affiliate link, it doesn't cost you any more to use, but it does give me a very small percentage of Elementor's profits if you choose to sign up. So that is the very basics of how to set up a contact page. I am going to be creating other useful pages, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notifications icon. And if you want to see how you can create blog posts without even typing, then check out this video on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.